Now, viewers, we are learning of very crucial news. No more attacks on Trump's Gulf allies. Well, Iran has come out to say, and reports are saying that Iran will not be attacking neighbouring countries. This is Iranian President himself who has come out to say this. Will see strikes on Gulf nation. Pezeshkian has to make these remarks while at a time when we had seen the Gulf countries had gotten caught in this exchange, in this war theatre. Iran had hit UAE, Qatar, Iraq amid the West Asia war. This is what we had in fact seen in the last few days. It is day 8 of this very war, and now Iran has come out to say that they will not be attacking. Iran's president has said that US demand for an unconditional surrender is a dream that they should take to their grave, but at the same time they will not be attacking the neighboring countries anymore. Remember, pressure was mounting from these neighboring countries on the United States as well, because they were appealing to the US that they had not been given any preliminary warnings of such an attack coming in, and the fact that Iran has begun with retaliatory attacks and operations wherein they were hitting at US centers, US assets in these countries, right after US and Israel had launched that operation against, the joint operation, the military operation against Iran. But now Iran has come out to say that they will not be attacking. But how long does this promise of, or does this remark, an assurance of not attacking these neighboring countries last? That is something that will be seen. But yes, right now, these are the visuals that we've been bringing to you since day one, February 28, when Iran launched those first retaliatory attacks across Gulf countries. The entire region has been quite tense ever since, and each of the governments of these countries were in close coordination with the United States to handle the very situation back home, where there were bombings taking place in random spots from Iranian sides, and civilian lives basically across these very crucial economic centers were also under threat. So there was threat looming large over them. Gaurav Sawant is joining me on the broadcast to in fact put this into further perspective. Gaurav, very good afternoon to you. This comes in as a very crucial development, but the question still would be remaining: how long does this assurance from Iran that they will not be bombing Gulf countries anymore actually stand in a war theatre that has been expanding with each passing day otherwise?
It indeed has been. So Iran realized that it's becoming hugely unpopular amongst the Muslim world, given the fact that despite none of the GCC countries targeting Iran, Iran took the initiative and targeted almost all of them, leading to damage in those countries and economies of those countries being adversely impacted. And the GCC foreign ministers reached out to Iran and warned them not to do so. So Iran is now, President Pezeshkian, he's making it clear there will not be any attacks on the GCC countries. However, there is a caveat that there should be no attack on Iran from the GCC countries either, from US bases on those GCC countries. Point one. Point two, what is extremely significant is the president of Iran making it very clear there is no question of unconditional surrender, as President Trump yesterday said. President Trump asked Iran to surrender unconditionally, and President Pezeshkian says that dream Americans will take to their graves, or those who are attacking Iran will take to their graves. So clearly, this will see, after 1 week, further escalation in the conflict, because one, there is no conversation to bring about a settlement that is happening at this stage, at least officially, and two, Iran continues to strike back. So their capabilities, according to Americans, may have dwindled, missile strike capabilities by 90% and drone strike capabilities by 86%, but they still retain the capacity and capabilities to carry out attacks on vital assets and vital points of Americans and Israelis in the region.
So, well, at this point of time, Gaurav, are we looking at a situation where there will be a complete stop on all kinds of attacks on these Gulf countries? Because remember, the entire target here was the US assets across these countries. So tomorrow, if there is an escalation from the US side, because US has come out to say today itself that they will be in fact launching a much bigger attack tonight that is, and under such circumstances, the question still remains to be, will Iran then actually let go of these US sites that it had been targeting in these Gulf countries?
So that is a very interesting question that you put. What happens in the future? And this is where it becomes very interesting, whether Iran perceives the attack on Iran takes place from these bases of the United States. A lot of these bases of the United States in these countries have already been hit by Iran. There has been considerable damage to several bases in the region, and now it remains to be seen how America, whether it uses its aircraft carrier strike groups to carry out the attacks, whether it's the B-1, B-2, and B-52 bombers that carry out long-range strikes. They carry out the attacks, and what bases do they take off from? Because remember, the Americans have also suffered damage not just to their radars and air defense systems, but also to a large extent. Take for example, 3 F-15 fighter jets downed. Iran says it downed it. The Americans say it was down in friendly fire by Kuwait, and a friendly fire or a blue on blue. This sounds very bizarre in conflict that Kuwait accidentally would end up shooting down 3 F-15 fighter jets. So this battle is poised at a very, very interesting and actually a dangerous situation right now. Will there be further escalation, or will some efforts be made to bring Iran to the talks table? At least officially, both sides say there are no talks happening. It's a fight to the finish.
Very true, Gaurav. To stay with others.